Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so while I'm staring my screen, I cannot read the text box, but because the lesson contain the video, so if I upload the file sometime because of my internet is not too strong, it will interrupt the slide. So that's why I'm going to share screen. And if I'm going to share screen, I cannot see if you type on the text box. So if you have any question, if you want to say anything, please turn on the mic and then tell me the name so that I can make a note. Yeah, because I cannot see your name or even in the text box. So business presentation. Do you think that business presentation is important? Because from my last semester, there one student, she's very brave. I mean, she was good. I encourage those who speak out your mind like that. She said that she doesn't think that business presentation is as important for all students because for her, she doesn't like to speak with other people. And so she chose to study to become an accountant. And she believed that with her position, she's most of the time will work with the numbers, with the computer. So I think she should learn about the business presentation, but she thinks that later in her working, in her daily working, she will not need to present a lot because of her typical job. She doesn't have to do the presentation a lot. So do you think so? Do you think that business presentation is important for some students and is important for only a certain group of job, and then it's not important for a certain group of job? So it means that it doesn't important for everybody. It depending on your job, so you may need the presentation, but if your job it doesn't require it, and then it doesn't matter that you know how to present or not. Do you think so? Bạn ơi, bạn nói mic của bạn. Can you speak? I think there's a problem with your microphone.
Can you hear me?
No.
I'm sorry.
Nghe được, cô nghe được, nhưng mà cái giọng của bạn nó bị chuyển giọng giống như là giọng của mấy cái animation vậy đó, giọng trong hoạt hình á. Nên con nghĩ là cái vấn đề nó nằm ở trong cái microphone của bạn á. Cái microphone nó hay bị lỏng, nếu mà nó lỏng cái giáp nó sẽ hay bị như vậy. So anyone have any order like this?
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Mai Hương, and I think that business presentations is very famous, very important with everyone, because I think this is tips that help our people can express our feeling to anybody else. Yeah.
Okay. But she said that if she works as an accountant, she works with number. She kind of, how to say, her personality doesn't like to talk. So business presentation is part of the theory that she should know, but it's not important. So do you agree or disagree? Các bạn hiểu vấn đề không? Khi mà cô nói business presentation rất là quan trọng trong cái việc làm ngày hôm nay, thì bạn có nói là business presentation nó theo bạn, và cô không có phản đối vì cái ý của bạn nha. Thực ra là để mà speak out your mind như vậy bạn rất là can đảm. Nên là cô encourage, if you have like different opinion about something, you can speak out your mind. Thì bạn nói á, là theo bạn thì đối với một số ngành nghề thì cái chuyện mà presentation nó không có quan trọng. Ví dụ như kế toán thì bạn nghĩ là sự cẩn thận, tập trung khi làm việc, tỉ mỉ nó sẽ mang lại hiệu quả chứ không phải là presentation. Cho nên là cái việc mà presentation, business presentation này nó sẽ quan trọng đối với một số ngành nghề này và không quan trọng đến một số ngành nghề khác, tùy thuộc vào cái ngành nghề bạn chọn. Cho nên á, nếu mà nó quan trọng cho tất cả mọi người thì bạn không nghĩ là như vậy. So do you agree or disagree?
Dạ, thưa cô thì em nghĩ là em disagree, bởi vì cái ngành kế toán nó sẽ phải chung đụng với lại các phòng ban khác.
Bạn ơi, cô không có nghe nói. I can't.
Bạn ơi, cái giọng của bạn như chip mưng vậy bạn.
Yeah, đúng rồi đó.
Nghe buồn cười á.
Like chipmunk, yes. I forgot the name, but I only can clarify that the sound like cartoon.
Rồi em chịu rồi đó. Em chịu lên.
Không nghe được. Đứa nào đang nói vậy? Không nghe được.
Can I try?
Yes.
My name is Châu Yang, and I disagree with the previous mate because I think that business presentation is not only talking in front of everyone, but that is the way you deliver your work to people around you, so that they can clearly understand what you are doing. So, I mean, it's not about presenting in front of everyone, but a lot of things more.
Yes, it's true. So, thank you, Yang. So Yang and Hung is already mentioned business presentation. Please don't translate that business presentation in a term, in a concept that you stay in front of audience, you stay on the stage, and then you deliver the presentation. Don't think that about that formal way of presentation. Presentation is about your speaking skill. In your daily work, you have to talk with your manager, you have to talk with your co-worker, with your staff, with your employees, with your customer, right? So this is presentation. You present your idea, you present your message to someone else, and this is your career success. So that's why it is you have to build a relationship, right? If you work with the computer, you still have to build a relationship with your co-worker, with your manager, because this is the way for you to develop your career in the future, right? So that's why we need to practice. We need to know how to deliver a business presentation. She defends my opinion because she translates the words business presentation in, how to say, very concise word. Bạn nói bạn dịch cái nghĩa là thuyết trình business presentation nó theo một cái nghĩa rất là sát nghĩa luôn, là giống như là mình phải đứng lên mình thuyết trình, mình phải đứng lên mình diễn giải một vấn đề gì đó trước tất cả mọi người, trước công ty, trước đám đông. No, but business presentation here is very broad in meaning. Yeah, you have to deliver your message. You interact with the people surrounding you. This is business presentation. So that's why this is about your speaking skill. And now speaking skill become important requirement from the employees. Just like right now, we are studying online, through technology, through the computers. What can we do? It's only talking. Right? So if you don't have the ability to talk, if you don't improve your speaking skill, how can your co-worker can understand you? Because if you speak face to face to each other, they may guess from your body language, they may guess from numbers. Okay, when we discussing, we look at number, we look at pictures, we look at things to guess your idea, but through online like this, so you only can rely on the information that you are given through the slide and then your speaking skill. So this is a use that your speaking skill is very useful at all stage. Even though you are the new graduate, you are the internship, or even you are the current employees, you are just an officer or you are a manager, you still need to talk to the order. So the fluently of your speaking skill will enhance your effectiveness in transit your message to the other one. And this is become the most wanted soft skill from the employer nowadays. Yeah, because beside the technology, they want employees who know how to interact, who know how to communicate with the other people. So think, if you become the internship at one organization and then no one talk with you, and then you don't talk with them, so you can see that the environment, what is the environment at working place, is very stressful. Of course, speaking skill is something that depends on your personalities, on your characteristic. Um, when I was young, at your age, I'm not kind of people who talk a lot. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't feel, I'm not shy, sorry. But I'm not kind of people who talkative. I'm quite quiet. I only talk when I feel that people, how to say, match with me. Even though when I was in high school, I only talk with a friend that sit next to me. So I don't care that about students who sit a little bit further than my seat. So this is my characteristic. Or you can say this is my personalities. I'm a little bit too calm. So I study in business department. So when I got a job in, how to say, in hotel environment, you know, the hotelier, they speak from morning until afternoon, they speak from afternoon until evening, they speak a lot. To me, it's headache from the beginning. Yeah, but and then I have to adapt with the environment. And then I also that I realized that, okay, speaking help you to build a relationship. Speaking also help you to relieve stress, right? Because you feel annoyed, you feel so angry with something, but and then you can have a joke, you can share a story with the person next to you, with your coworker, and then you may release your working stress at that time. So that's why, please, um, try to motivate yourself to speak whenever you can, because it helps you a lot later when you are working. So here, type of presentation, just like Yang already mentioned, presentation can come from different type of forms: briefing, report, podcast, virtual presentation, webinars. So you can see here, this is not like always you have to stay in front of the audience and then talk. That we call presentation, but sometimes briefing is kind of presentation. So do you know what this briefing is? When do we have briefing? Can you guess? Do you know what is briefing? Hmm? Do you guys know what does it mean, briefing?
Teacher, can I guess? Teacher, my name is Thuy. Can I guess?
Yeah.
I think briefing is like a meeting paper
which have the information or instruction, and they are given to people that attend that meeting.
So what is the difference between briefing and meeting? So according to your explanation, so I think it can be considered as meeting too. Any idea? Do you know what is the difference? Okay, so we already mentioned the purpose, but actually briefing is, what is the difference with meeting? Meeting is quite long. Briefing is very short. Briefing is a short meeting. Yeah, make it simple. We can understand in this way. Briefing is a short meeting. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's it. So when do we have briefings? When we work in the environment that we need to transfer the information immediately from one shift or one person to the other person, from one shift to the other shift. For example, in my industry, hotel industry. So if you work inside the hotel environment, food and beverage department, front office department, each of department, we will have briefing every shift. So at the beginning of the shift, we will have a briefing. So what is inside that briefing? For example, for front office department, ví dụ như buổi sáng, trong khách sạn sẽ có 3 ca, sáng, chiều và tối. So ca sáng inside the briefing will be morning shift and night shift. Tại sao có night shift? Night shift là người ta sẽ làm việc cái ca đêm trước đó. Morning shift là cái ca chuẩn bị nhận, take over the job. So inside the briefing, the night shift people, the night shift staff will transfer all the important information for the morning shift to take over and then follow up. Yeah, because those things they need to follow up, they need to, how to say, conclude, they need to see the results. For example, phòng 405 ngày hôm qua 3 giờ sáng gọi điện thoại xuống complain là nước trong bồn tắm chảy không tắt được, ví dụ như vậy. Thì so the night shift called the technician department. Technician nói là sáng hôm nay sẽ bắt đầu sửa. Thì nhiệm vụ của cái ca đêm đó là they will inform to the guest. So the guest informed that 9 o'clock she will be checked. She will be going out of the room and then we'll be back at 11. So inside the briefing, the night shift will say, today at 9 a.m. the guest will go out of the room and then the maintenance department will go inside and fix that. But please remember to remind them that 11 o'clock the guest will be back, so that the morning shift will catch the problem. And then they follow up, they remind them that the maintenance people have to give back the room before 11 a.m. So you can see that the incident need to be transferred, the incident needs to be following up in order to provide a service, in order to take care of the problem. So inside the hospital, we also have briefing. Tiếng Việt của mình có rất là nhiều cách để gọi. Ví dụ trong bệnh viện mình có thể gọi là giao ban, là giao giữa cái ban này với cái ban nọ, giao ca giữa ca này với ca kia, giao ban là giữa ban này với ban kia. Thường là giao ban á thì nó sẽ include more department. Ví dụ như ở trong bệnh viện, ví dụ như khoa nội, khoa ngoại, buổi sáng người ta sẽ có một cái briefing giữa các khoa với nhau. Ok, hôm qua bệnh nhân của khoa nội đã mổ xong, trả về khoa ngoại, hiện giờ là tiến triển bệnh như thế nào, đề nghị khoa ngoại theo dõi. Đó là trong bệnh viện. Bên Việt Nam của mình sẽ có cái chữ gọi là giao ban, là giữa các ban với nhau. Trong công ty của mình thì mình sẽ có giao ca. So just like briefings inside my hotel or in the factory. We also can have briefing. For example, nhà máy thì thường thường sản xuất, ví dụ như ở cái ở line 4, the machine number 7, ở cái đường line 4, cái máy số 7 hiện giờ đang hư, kỹ thuật báo là cần phải nửa ngày để sửa, 1 giờ chiều là máy có thể hoạt động lại, nên là cái năng suất của cái máy đó trong buổi sáng nó sẽ pause lại, nó sẽ stop lại, thì các bạn sẽ thấy được là ok, in the afternoon, the supervisor, the team leader, they need to know this thing so that they will calculate the productivity, or also they will taking care, they keep track on the problem from those information. Yeah, so that's why it's the briefing is very important. It's kind of short meeting. It can happen few times a day in order to updating the information to transfer to the other people who need to take care or follow up with the problems. And then report, we can have the business report or business proposal. This is, we have a group project. Yeah, we have business proposal in writing, and then we will deliver in the presentation for the rest of the class to know about your business proposal. Postcard, virtual presentation, webinar is a different form. So it depends on the demand of your organization. We will choose the method, the platform of the way that we present your idea. So just like you are writing, when you are speaking, it's the same thing. You should know what do you want to talk. What is the purpose of your talking? I already mentioned that inside business, on every word that you have speak out, you need to think about the purpose, because someone may take it like the evidence to against you. Yeah, so you should think about the purpose of your presentation. Bạn sẽ có thể bạn nói với cô, trời ơi cô ơi, bình thường mình nói chuyện với nhau mình cũng phải có lúc vui lúc buồn, of course mình sẽ có lúc vui lúc buồn. Nếu như cái người đó là bạn thân của bạn, bạn giỡn cái câu đó, everything fine, tất cả mọi người đều cười với câu giỡn đó. Nhưng trong khoảng 10 người đó có một người không thích bạn, they will take your words. Người ta sẽ lấy những cái lời nói của bạn, người ta ghim lại. Tới một lúc nào đó người ta sẽ bùng ra. So that's why inside business environment, you should be careful with your words, with your writing, because everything becomes the evidence to against you. If one day, some people, they don't like you. So that's why please think about your purpose. What do you want your listener to remember or do from your speaking? What do you want to achieve? They will sign a contract, they will agree with your proposal or whatever you want to. So you have to think, and then we will have to say, rough out, okay, what should we say? How should we say to her? How should we say to him? He's kind of very stingy people. So we should offer a good price, a reasonable price or something like this. So you should know the purpose of your speaking. It's the same thing with your writing. When we are writing in business environment, we have to think about the purpose of your writing, because we are not writing for fun. We are not speaking for fun. Even though we deliver the message for fun, but it's still a hidden message, a hidden, how to say, purpose inside that story. And then we have to modify. So here is the deliver the purpose of the presentation. Cô nó đang chưa nó quay vòng vòng.
So I made it to Harvard.
Can you So you know her? Do you guys know her?
Yes.
Okay, Rihanna, she's famous for her music career, right? But and then she deliver speech at Harvard University, where she's well known for education. So is there anything related? Nothing. But and then you can see here why Harvard invite her and why she come here. Because she has another purpose. She's not talking about education. She's not come here to persuade you to study or to persuade you to be a good student or something like this. She has her own purpose. And then she just come here to deliver her main purpose. That's it.
So I made it to Harvard. Never thought I'd be able to say that in my life, but it feels good. Thank you, Dr. Counter. Thank you to the Harvard Foundation, and thank you, Harvard University, for this great honor. Thank you. I'm incredibly humbled by this, to be acknowledged at this magnitude for something that, in truth, I've never wanted credit for. When I was 5 or 6 years old, I remember watching TV and I would see these commercials and I was watching other children suffer in other parts of the world. And, you know, the commercials where you could give 25 cents and save a child's life. And I would think to myself, like, I wonder how many 25 cents I could save up to save all the kids in Africa. And I would say to myself, like, when I grow up and I can get rich and I'm going to save kids all over the world, I just didn't know I would be in the position to do that by the time I was a teenager. At 17, I started my career here in America. And by the age of 18, I started my first charity organization. I went on to team up with other organizations in the following years and met, helped, and even lost some of the most beautiful souls. From 6-year-old Yasmina Amina, who passed away in 2010 from leukemia. Her story inspired thousands to volunteer as donors through GKMS. Fast forward to 2012, when my grandmother, the late Clara Brathwaite, she lost her battle with cancer, which is the very reason and the driving force behind the Clara Lionel Foundation. We're all human, and we all just want a chance. A chance at life, a chance at an education, a chance at a future, really. And at CLF, our mission is to impact as many lives as possible. But it starts with just one. Just one. As I stare out into this beautiful room, I see optimism. I see hope. I see the future. I know that each and every one of you has the opportunity to help someone else. All you need to do is help one person, expecting nothing in return. To me, that is a humanitarian. People make it seem way too hard, man. The truth is, and what the little girl watching those commercials didn't know, is that you don't have to be rich to be a humanitarian. You don't have to be rich to help somebody. You don't gotta be famous. You don't even have to be college educated. I mean, I wish I was. I'm not saying, especially today. It's true, I might come back, but all right. But it starts with your neighbor, the person right next to you, the person sitting next to you in class, the kid down the block in your neighborhood. You just do whatever you can to help in any way that you can. And today I want to challenge each of you to make a commitment to help one person, one organization, one situation that touches your heart. My grandmother always used to say, if you got $1, there's plenty to share. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was my honor.
So what is her purpose? So what is the purpose of her speech? What is the purpose of her speech? Come on. What is the purpose of her speech? Did you guys watch the video? What is the purpose of her speech?
Can I answer?
Yes, please.
My name is Dick Mai, and I think she shared her own story, and then she delivered a message about we should help others people when we can, and this is yeah.
So this is her purpose. She didn't come to Harvard for education. She didn't come to persuade you to become a good student or something. Her purpose is to come here to persuade you guys, to encourage you guys to help other people. And of course, she predict that when she, how to say, encourage you to be a humanitarian, you may say, oh, because you are a millionaire. So of course you have foundation, you can help people, but I'm student. For my living cost, I don't have enough money for my living cost. What can I do for the other people? So you can see that inside her speech, she used all the evidence, she used all the encouragement that you don't need to be a millionaire, you don't need to be famous, you don't need to be college educated to help people. And then she only encourage you guys to have the person sit next to you in the class or in your neighborhood, or you have a person that can touch your heart, one person only, right? So because she want to encourage you guys to have people, it depends on what you have, right? Because she knows that, okay, if she asks people to help the order, you may say, oh, right now I'm suffering with my living cost, I'm still earning or something like this. So she just said that if you see the case that touch your heart, just help that one case, right? It's very simple action to do. She didn't ask for you to do things like too important or that much to put into the donation or into a lot of money to put in her donation foundation. So you can see that this is a purpose. It's very simple. Have one person next to you, have one person that when you see on the street, that you feel touch your heart. You can just happily, simply help that person. That is okay. So you can see this is a purpose of her speech, right? And she went to Harvard just for this purpose only. There's nothing to do with education, there's nothing to do with knowledge, there's nothing to do with, because she knew that she doesn't have it. So again, we should enhance our strength, our knowledge, our experience in what we have in our presentation to enhance our purpose. That's it. Because we are human. Sometimes we have disadvantage and advantage. So if you have advantage in some ways, please enhance it, show it to people so that you can be more confident. And then now knowing your audience, analyze your audience, look at their reaction, adjust to their needs, and then focus on their benefit. It's the same goals, the same objective, just like you are writing. You have to understand your audience. Can any one of you think of, is there any situation that you think the information is important for that audience, for the audience, however, the audience thinks they are not? It's not. Is that, do you think is it? Do you understand my question? Is there a situation that when you think that your message is very important for the audience, however, the audience doesn't think that way? Do you think it's happened in a real life? Hmm? You guys understand my question? Hello?
I think, yeah, in the real life, we have that situation.
Can you think of any example?
I think the most common example is teaching. Yeah, I see a lot of teachers, they said some information that they think this is very important and necessary for students, but there are a lot of students, they don't think so, and they really listen to the teacher.
Okay, this is very good example. Yes. So now this is really extremely correct, and that is really good example. So can you tell me why it's happened? Why do you think it's happened?
I think because the teacher and the student don't have the same way of thinking, and they have different perception.
Okay. What is your name?
Yes, my name is Tuyết Mai.
Okay, thank you, Mai. So Mai said because they have a different ways of thinking. Okay, thank you, Mai. Let's discuss about this. How about the other student? Do you have any idea why it's happened? Is it because of they have different ways of thinking, or because that the teacher have a bad teaching skill, or whatever a reason? Just give me a reason why this thing happened.
Can I think that because the student have not experienced like teachers, and so they think that's not important to do at the moment. Like the teacher give student experience that they have been through, but the student does not want to believe in that, I think.
Okay. Yep. It's correct. It's correct. Yes. Did I have your name? Nếu mà bạn nào bạn nói tên cô trước rồi á, thì không cần nói tại cô đã take note rồi. But this is the first time, so tell me the name so that I can take note. Yeah. So just like Yang and Mai is already mentioned, this is really good example. Yeah. Why whenever the teacher say, oh, this is very important for your life, this is important for your career later, but most of the time student will not listen to it because the gap of experience, the gap of two generation, the gap of knowledge, the distance between two generation, this is the first reason. And then the difference in knowledge and experience is create those things. And this is something that we couldn't do anything. We are trying to say it every day. We inspire you with the example. We link you with the real situation in order for you to easy to imagine about the incident. But it is something that you cannot change your mind of your audience. Because you are 20 years old, yeah, boy and girls. I'm 40 years old person. I can't expect that you think like I think. Because if you can think like I think, you are 40 years old boys and girls, not 20s, right? The gap 20 years will be a duration for you to add up experience, for you to add up knowledge. That's why I don't want to be a teacher. I don't want to say that I will be your teacher. I will be the one who's sharing the experience. I'm telling my story for you guys to listen. I'm trying to link the story into the realistic situation so that, okay, when you think, you may put in a real story, in a real picture, so that this will inspire you a little bit in the way that you will observe the knowledge. But somehow, some of the experience, you will have to do it. You will have to experience it until you realize, okay, you shouldn't do that. For example, if I teach if I educate my son, 10-year-old boy, I will say about the negative effect of playing games, online games, of watching YouTube too much, using iPad too much. Do you think that they will understand? Ví dụ như cô nói nó là coi iPad, coi YouTube nhiều quá, mai mốt là hư mắt, mù mắt, mổ mắt gì đó, mình có thể nói là mình coi online sẽ dẫn đến nghiện game sẽ dẫn đến trộm cắp. Cô có thể explain rất là nhiều thứ. Do you think he will understand? No, he will listen to me. Okay, this is the cause and this is the effect. However, he could not link to the effect yet because he's 10 years old. He still lives in a family where our parents take care of him. He haven't seen the case in our society like that. So I think every day I will speak a little bit. I will try to motivate him. I will try to encourage him to limit the timing, to make him understand day by day. But I don't expect him that he should understand like I understood. Because he's 10 years old, I'm 40 years old, right? So when you talk to the audience, please understand that concept. That sometimes the gap between you and the audience, this is something that you couldn't do. So please put yourself into the student situation or into the audience situation. So that, okay, if I'm at that age, what should I do? So that's why I encourage you guys to work. I know that, okay, for some of you, your family is still supporting you. You don't need money, right? However, I think all students need money for shopping, for movie, for girlfriend, for boyfriend, right? This is very normal. I remember when I was your age, I need money too. But I work, I earn money for my demand. So if now you have demand, your parents support it to you already, right? But so I can persuade you in different ways. Yeah. If instead of not studying my subject, please try your best to study to pass this one if you don't like the subject. Or you have to pay for restudy again. Why you have to pay for restudy? If your family have that much money, use that money to eat. Use that money to buy your girlfriend, boyfriend a gift. They appreciate. Or you go out, you buy a new phone, new clothes. We have so many things that we can use with money. Why we use a money to study again another semester? The first semester you feel boring, and I don't think that you can find the second semester is more interesting, right? It's get more boring. So that's why please study. So this is how I come approach to your age, right? Because I believe that during my studying life, not all subject that we like to study. There will be some subject I would like to study. There will be some subject I don't like to study. I was like that too. So for those I don't like, I try my best to get the highest. I put my highest ability to finish that course. Sometimes I can get B, sometimes I can get C plus. It's okay. I try my best. However, I never fail any subject because I don't want to pay money for the school. I want to use that money to buy something else, to go something else, for traveling, for eating, for whatever reason, but not paying for the school. Because vốn chỉ là mình đã không thích cái môn đó rồi thì có học lại mình cũng sẽ không thích. So see, this is the win-win solution that I can talk to you guys. So again, when we prepare your presentation, please understand your audience. There's sometimes you cannot make the perfect preparation because there's a gap. You can't fix it. However, try to put yourself in their shoe so that you may use example, you may use the way that you can get closer to them. Yeah. Có những cái just like Mai is already explained. And Yang is already explained that there's some experience when I share, when the teachers say to students, they may not listen, they may not listen about it because they don't understand or they don't think it will happen to their life that way until the day they experience this. Thì cái đó không thể nào trách các bạn được. Nếu như các bạn không nghe, các bạn không hiểu thì cũng không trách được. Vì cái kinh nghiệm sống là của mỗi người. Cũng có thể sau này bạn may mắn hơn, bạn không có gặp phải những cái vấp váp đó thì bạn sẽ không có những cái experience đó, nhưng ngược lại bạn sẽ có những cái experience khác. Nên đó là có những cái gaps, có những cái gaps when we prepare the presentation, mình không thể nào mà mình avoid được, thì mình sẽ adapt bằng cách là mình put ourselves into their shoe, mình tiến lại gần nhất với their perception as close as possible, and then we try to speak every day a little bit of every day, so that they can listen a little bit, stay back into their mind, so later they will develop it. So this is, any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, can move on. So these are few questions that you should ask to yourself where before you deliver your message or before you preparing for your message. How will this topic appeal to the audience? How can I relate this material to my listeners? How can I earn respect so that they can accept my message? What will be the most effective in making my point? How can I make the audience remember my main points? So this is important question we should ask ourselves first in order to prepare the message to enhance the effectiveness. Never give up. Never give up is a speech from Jack Ma. During the speech, I will let you guys watch a little bit.
Trước đây khi chưa sử dụng cái phần mềm Bay thì chúng tôi vẫn quản lý công việc bằng các hình thức truyền thống như là giao việc bằng miệng, làm việc nhóm.
My advice to the young people, 25 years old, make enough mistakes. Don't worry. You fall, you stand up. You fall, you stand up. Enjoy it. I mean, 25 years old, enjoy the show, enjoy the show. From 30 to 40 years old, you have to think very clearly when you're working for yourself. If you really want to be entrepreneur. So 40 to 50, think about how can focus on things that you are good at. But when you are 50 to 60 years old, work for the young people because young people can do better than you. So rely on them, invest on them, making sure they're good. So 25 years old, don't worry. Any mistake is an income, is a wonderful revenue for you.
In the future, it's not about the competition of knowledge. It's a competition of creativity. It's a competition of imagination. It's a competition of learning. It's a competition of independent thinking. If you think like a machine, a problem will come. In the past 20 years, we'll make people like a machine. In the next 20 years, machine will look like a people. So in the future, it's not knowledge-driven, it's the wisdom-driven. It's the experience-driven. In the past, it's the knowledge-driven, and it's the manufacturing-driven, and in the future, it's the creativity-driven. I think next to 30 years, the world is going to change a lot. The new technology is going to change every aspect of the world. So this is what we think the world should be focusing on, not only the IQ, EQ, but also focus on LQ, the Q of love. Because only when you care the others, only you care the others that succeed, and more successful than you are, you have the chance.
10 years ago, internet was so good. When nobody believed internet was so good. Now internet is so tough because all the smart people go to internet. So you should go to the off ground. I failed for funny things that I failed in a key primary school test for 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. No, I tried. There's an examination that young people, if you want to go to university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times. When I graduated from universities, and before for 3 years, I tried to fill in the universities. So I applied jobs 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police, they said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC come to China, come to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. I learned so much about the Hollywood movies, especially the Forrest Gump.
Love Forrest Gump.
I love Forrest Gump.
Why do you like him?
Simple. Never give up. People think he's done. but he knows what he's doing. And I was very depressed the day, year 2002 or 3 in the States. I was very depressed when I could not find out a way for the internet. And I watched the movie in my friend's home, Forrest Gump. When I see him, I think, this is the guy we should learn from. Believe what you're doing, love it, whether people like it, don't like it, be simple. And like the word, life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you can get, right? I never know I would be here talking to you. I never know. But today I made it. I told my people in my apartment 15 years ago, guys, we have to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't get $1 from bank, 1 cent from government. Just work as a team. I worry about it today. Young people, a lot of young people lose hope, lose vision, and start to complain. Because we also have the same period. Because when I got, it's not a good feeling being rejected by so many people. We also depressed, but at least later we find that the world has a lot of opportunity. How you see the world, how you catch the opportunity. So, the Hollywood gives me a lot of inspiration. At the beginning, I never thought. I thought when I was young, I said everything's possible. Now I know not everything's possible. When you have something, you have to think about. You have to consider about the others. You have to consider about the customer, society, your employees, the shareholders. So there are so many things that I think if you continue to work hard, there's possibility. It's not mission. If you don't do it, nothing is possible. If you try to do it, at least you have the hope. Calm down. There's always a way out. And keep yourself balanced. And meanwhile, don't try to keep, because business is a competition is a fun. Business is not like a battlefield. You die or I win. Business, even if you die, I may not win. Right? So it's about fun. Yeah, tell them the story and tell them that if I don't think in this world there are a lot of people be rejected more than 30 times. If we,
I think we can stop here. So you guys can see that during his speech, the term never give up, never give up, never give up repeats a lot of time. And also inside the speech, he's speaking the story of him and then the story of everything is a concern about the never give up. He is using a lot of examples to prove that you shouldn't never give up. So you can see that human being is kind of very weak in listening skill. So during your presentation, you have to repeat your main point. You tell them what you are going to tell them. You tell them what you have told them. It means that you have to remind them at least 3 times your main point. Because they may miss the first time, they may catch the second time, and then they miss again for the 3rd time. So you can see listening skill is very poor from human being. So that's why if you think that your point is important and you want the receiver, the listener, the audience need to take it, you have to repeat it several times during your presentation. Just like attendance, you can see that how many times that I repeated, I will do the attendance randomly, but again, how many students can catch the idea? Is keep contact me, email me, say, oh, today in class, I didn't hear you call my name. Did you call my name? But I remember that every class, I mentioned that, okay, I will do the attendance randomly. So you can see that listening skill from human beings is very poor, especially when we can't speak face to face. We can't deliver the message face to face. So through the telephone, through the internet, all the listening skill is get worse than the face to face. So that's why please try to remind your audience, your receiver, your main point many times during your presentation. Of course, your presentation, just like your, how to say, writing, is contain introduction. Introduction is where you have to draw the attention of the audience, of the receiver. So it depends. It depends on your audience. You have to understand them, the age, the backgrounds, the knowledge of the audience, so that you can find a way to capture their attention with a question, with a story, with a joke, with a promise. So if I go to the kindergarten, I deliver my presentation, I will start with a game, right? Because the kids, they love to play games. The kids, they love to receive a small gift, right? So I can draw their attention by starting with a game. But do you think that I can start with a game with my business? How to say, if I go for the seminar, inside there is a manager from different companies. Should I start with the games? No, you should start with a fact, starting facts about the industry. Okay, based on the report from the ministry, Vietnam ministry report, that from March 10, the government have announced blah, 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 blah. So they want updated information about the industry, about the business, what is relevant to their backgrounds, what is important, necessary for their job. So if I'm talking to a student, a third-year student, I can start, okay, I'm working for the human resource of this organization. Right now, my company is offer a lot of internship position or something like this. So it depends. It depends on your audience. So we can start the conversation in different ways in order to attract their attentions. How to build personal branding. Again, personal branding is very important. I just want to remind you again that each of us have our own unique. It is your job to find out what it is and then nurture it and then try to enhance it, right? You don't think that, okay, I'm student, my advantage should be my transcript, should be my GPA. No, this is not the only advantage. A lot of people, they have very low in GPA, but they can sing. Later, they will be a singer. They can dance. Later, they can be a dancer. A lot of people with low GPA, but later they can be a businessman because they have the sensitive mindset about the business, so they can realize what is it, but not the GPA, right? So you can see that each of us have our own unique, our own advantage about ourselves. So it is your job. You have to think. You have to find out. You have to distinguish what is it, and then we continue to nurture it, to develop it, so that later it will become your personal branding. So if you compare me with my other student, my friend, not other student, if you compare me and then with my friends, I don't have high in GPAs, right? I do have friends who has GPA 3.8, 3.9. When we were in school, they are the one who tutor me in math, in accounting. Yeah, they show me how to do it. Actually, they are much better than me. However, they don't become a teacher. For those group of people, you have a good in GPA, you have that good knowledge. Why don't you become a teacher? So you can see here, knowledge, position, education, experience, it will match with your job or not. It depends on you. So for my job, I have my own unit. I used to work since I was 18. I am the first time that I'm traveling overseas when I was 18. The first job I found on my own. On the process of getting the visa at that time, I did it on my own. So you can see that the knowledge I have for almost more than 20 years, I accumulate on my own. So I have enough of knowledge to share with my students, not only from the book. So this is my own unit, and I believe that not many students or not many people who is in the same class with me have it. You have it when you earn enough money, when you have good money, and then you buy a tour, you go for traveling, but you didn't have the opportunity to do the visa, to get the visa, to go there, to find a job, to work, to earn for the living cost, just like me, right? So that's why I believe that each of us have their own, we have our own unique that no one have it. So be confident and then build it for your personal branding so that later it will become your signature in the company when you apply for the job, or even you can be the lecturers later. Yeah, so of course you appear professionally, use eye contact, connect with the audience is the must. But I just want you to remember that please specify your personal branding. Yeah, you can sing, you can dance, you can cook, you love to travel, just nurture it. Because the more commitment you put into it, the knowledge you will have it later. Có rất là nhiều bạn, có một người bạn của cô mê shopping, bạn đó mê son, mê mua cây lipstick, yes, mua rất là nhiều. Bạn đó phải có cả mấy trăm cây á. Nó thích sưu tập, nó thích đánh son, nó thích sưu tập. Nếu như mà bạn nhìn vào một cái mặt tiêu cực, mua vô tội vạ, có bao nhiêu tiền đi mua son hết. Tuy nhiên nếu như bạn nhìn vào mặt tích cực, this is her own personal branding. Tại sao? Vì bạn đó bạn mua son nhiều, bạn biết rất là nhiều thương hiệu, và khi bạn touch lên cái môi, bạn có thể cảm nhận được và bạn differentiate được cái material ingredients để mà làm nên cái lipstick. Rồi bạn thích lipstick đến nỗi mà bạn tự so you how if we look at the good side of it, she has talent on this, right? Of course, if her parents look at this, she pays a lot for the lipstick. She has hundreds of lipstick, but now she knows how to make her own lipstick. So think in a positive way. Later in the future, she may develop her career in opening a company that make a lipstick, customize the lipstick. So you can see that each of us have our own unique side. Try to find out what you like to do, what you love to do, what you would love to develop, and then we can start to develop it. So after the introduction, you can have with the body, of course. Inside the body, you must focus on your main point. You should suppose your main point by graph, evidence, supported idea. You can use a lot of tools to support your main points. And then you can get conclusion. Again, inside a conclusion, you should summarize your presentation, asking the audience if they have any question about yours, and then you can leave the audience with the specific, and then noteworthy text presentation. To add to the effectiveness, when they are listening to you. You speak videos, clips, things like the presentation. We rely a lot on the so that's why technology is still seeing your system. Please do that. You can put it on. You can put your presentation on USB. So please do the backup plan because system is still system. Think if you put it on drive and then on that day, there's no internet. There's a problem with the internet. You couldn't open the slide, so we still have it on the USB. So think that when we prepare for the presentation, please think of the backup because the more the more technology that we are using to support our speaking, the higher risk that we may have from those tools. So please do the backup. So the tips to get the powerful media, I think this is all of you know it. If we do the presentation, do not put too many words on the slide because we are not going to read it. If you think that you have so many information that the audience needs to keep, need to read, so please give the handouts in advance. But on your slide, please only put the main point with explanation, but in short and concise. Don't put it too much. Deliver method, no memorization, no reading from the notes, no reading from the form because it cô mới bị rớt mạng. Các bạn nghe lại được chưa?
Dạ rồi cô.
Dạ rồi cô.
Ok. Ok. Khi mà mình present á, try and then you giống như mình học được là khi mà các bạn nói mọi người vẫn nhớ đó. Còn cái việc mà từ nó thì chắc chắn là sẽ bị tăng. A lot of statistics and so require the concise, the accurate data thì lúc đó để mình có thể provide những con số một cách chính xác nhất thì mình sẽ có sự hỗ trợ từ cái nốt nhỏ thôi, còn bình thường là try not to memorize or reading from the note. This is the tip of the presentation. You must have a good knowledge about what you are doing. Ví dụ như các bạn thuyết trình, các bạn học về marketing mà tự nhiên giờ kêu các bạn thuyết trình về accounting, chắc chắn là các bạn sẽ không đủ kiến thức rồi. Các bạn đọc bài để các bạn làm bài present đó thì nó cũng chỉ gói gọn ở trong cái phần đó thôi. Cái kiến thức mở rộng của mình là không có. Nên mà khi mà mình present mà ai mà hỏi cái gì chạch ra ngoài cái là bắt đầu mình rung liền. Còn nếu như các bạn đi làm, các bạn sẽ thấy được kiến thức chuyên ngành của mình có, mình làm lâu năm rồi, những cái kinh nghiệm của mình có, thì cái việc mà các bạn deliver một cái buổi presentation nó không có gì là quan trọng hết, vì tất cả mọi kinh nghiệm nó đều nằm in our mind. Nên là cái việc mà mình nói chuyện, mình dễ dàng mình deliver cái message ra nó rất là dễ, nên là mình sẽ không có sợ. The more you have in knowledge, the more confidence you can deliver the message to the other people, to the audience. So that's why try to read, try to learn more so that we can have enough knowledge, enough experience about the topic, about the field, so that we can have the confidence when we deliver the presentation. So come back the stage fright. This is how you should do to calm down your nervous, your fear. Like breathe deeply, convert your fear, know your topic, and come prepared. Use positive self-talk. Take a sip of water, shift a spotlight of your visual. Ignore any stumble. Feel proud when you finish. So I gave you a few hints to calm down your fearness. However, this will be different from person to person. I can't say, okay, when I'm nervous, I will be doing this. You should do the same with me, because it may not work on you. Each of us have different characteristics, different personality, different backgrounds, different knowledge, experience. So that's why here is for your reference. You have to read, you have to listen to yourself, and then you apply it into on your own to see which one is work on you, which one is not. Because otherwise it's work for you, it's not work for me, or it's work on me, it's not work for you. So that's why you have to differentiate the difference. You have to listen to yourself and then see what is going to work. So you can see that breathe deeply. Sometimes, yeah, I did teach before the presentation, I breathe deeply. However, I'm still nervous because it doesn't work. Because it doesn't work on you. So you have to find another way to calm down your nervous. So for me, when I feel nervous, I will try to find something to read. For example, I read news on my phone. If I don't have the phone with me, I will try to find a brochure, a leaflet from that office, from that company or whatever. I will try to read, because when I'm reading, I will focusing on the words, on the information inside there. I forgot that I'm going to do the presentation in the next few minutes. So this is how I convert my fear. But I may tell you my experience. You may do it to test. However, it may not work from you. So that's why you have to listen. You have to find out how to control your emotion. Because this will be different from person to person. I don't think there will be a one, technique that can apply for everybody. Because we are human. We are different from the basic. So that's why you understand yourself first. So before the presentation, please, you have to prepare. You have to read. You have to do the research. You have to do the rehearsal. Again, time yourself. When you feel nervous, you will read faster, you will speak faster, or you will speak slower. A lot of people, when they feel nervous, they speak really fast. Sorry. When you are at home, I said, okay, your presentation will be in 10 minutes. So when you do the rehearsal at home, you make the timing exactly 10 minutes. But because you are at home, you don't feel nervous. There are nobody in front of you. So when you stay in front of the class, you feel nervous. You speak your 10 minutes presentation now, it's only 7 minutes. You forgot something, you speak faster. So there's so many ways for you to behave when you you feel nervous, or a lot of people, when they feel nervous, they speak slower. At home, you do the rehearsal for 10 minutes, and then for the same presentation, it takes 15 minutes for you to complete. So you can see that you have to understand yourself that, okay, when I feel nervous, I speak faster. I tend to speak faster. So that's why I can prepare a little bit more. So that on the day when I feel nervous, 12 minutes, it will become 10 minutes, for example, like this. So you have to rest professionally. I think this is not only on when you need to present, to do the presentation. When we are working, we need to rest professionally every day. Yeah, you check the room if it's possible. You greet the audience member if possible. So during your presentation, you begin with a pose, begin with a story. It depends on your audience. Use eye contact. Don't read from your note. You control your voice and vocabulary. Again, remember what you are speaking to the group of the audience. Please use it in a polite and formal vocabulary. Don't deliver the jokes or the words that you may think is funny, but the audience think they are not. Yeah, so it will give a negative effect. You may receive a complaint. You may receive a bad review after that. So please do the concern with picking up the vocabulary. Show your enthusiasm and then skip the apologize, put the brakes on, incorporate pose when appropriate. So during your presentation, you must keep track on the atmosphere of your audience. Yeah, so that you can pause, you can continue, you can put the brakes, or whatever. You should depends on the flow, on the atmosphere of your audience at that time. Again, summarize your main points and arrive at the high points of your talk. So you think this is the most important one, you summarize and then you, express the important points of your talk at the end, just to remind the audience. So this is after your presentation. If you think that your information is too much, too many for the audience to remember, so you can distribute the handouts. You encourage them to ask a question. You should reinforce with your main points. You keep control of your speaking, of your presentation by keep track with the audience all the time. Okay, any questions? I know that the information in this chapter is this kind of theory. It is hard for you guys to apply if you don't really have a chance to practice it. Tại vì nếu mà bây giờ cô chỉ cho các bạn nói ok làm thế nào để có một cái buổi nói chuyện tốt thì tất cả mọi thứ nó cũng chỉ là lý thuyết, và đây là cái mà cái disadvantage. Thì nếu như các bạn không có cơ hội để các bạn stay in front of people, hoặc là bạn không có cơ hội để deliver the message thì rất là khó để mà mình find out, okay, do I have a skill on this or not? So that's why we have presentation on this class, right? So we do have a business proposal where you do the written report, 3,000 words, and then you guys will do the presentation. So I want to give you guys a small, chance to speak out, to find out, do you have the ability to speak with people or not, to work in teams or not. So that's why in this class, we do have the presentation. 10 minutes presentation for each group. So please remember that, like when we are working right now, speaking skill is very important. People is always look for a people who is active in speaking because they don't have time to talk with you all the time, so they expect you to be active, behave. Asking if you don't know, you can ask, or you can start a conversation whenever you have the demand in something. Okay, any questions so far? Cái môn này nè, nó rất là quan trọng, nhưng mà có điều là nó rất là khó để cho các bạn, như nãy cô nói đó, là cái gap of knowledge between you and me, là between giữa người dạy và người học, là vì các bạn chưa đi làm nên các bạn sẽ không có hiểu được cái tầm quan trọng của cái việc này. Mà cô thì đi làm rồi, tuy nhiên khi mà cô sharing experience cho các bạn thì các bạn cũng sẽ không hiểu được cho tới ngày các bạn đi làm. Tất nhiên là mưa dầm thấm lâu, mỗi một ngày thầy cô sẽ nói cho các bạn hiểu, để mong là các bạn có thể adapt được. Tuy nhiên là có những trường hợp là mình phải, giống như là mình phải đụng vào, người ta kêu là có thất bại thì mới biết á. Có nghĩa là khi mà mình phải experience rồi thì mình mới nhận ra. Nhưng để mà nói khơi khơi như vậy á, thì cũng rất là khó. 2 chapter sau cũng vậy. 2 chapter sau học về viết thư, cách viết business message ở trong công ty, ở trong business environment. It's all again theory. Bây giờ cô dạy cho các bạn cách viết một cái viết thư, nhưng mà nếu mà thực ra mà các bạn không viết, các bạn không practice thì equal zero. Các bạn không hình dung được. Nên á, I used to have one student email me 3 weeks ago asking about the internship. He said, cái email của bạn đó nha, không có subject, nhào vô, con tên là vậy, con đang gặp khó khăn trong vấn đề tìm việc làm, mong cô giúp đỡ. So, con có thể gặp cô vô lúc nào? Đó, bạn đó bạn email chắc là hơn 2 hàng tí xíu, không có subject, không có gì hết đó. Thì các bạn sẽ hình dung được là với một cái cách viết như vậy á, thì bạn sẽ viết cái CV như thế nào, bạn viết cái cover letter như thế nào. Thì cái chuyện mà người ta không có nhận đơn xin việc của bạn cũng rất là bình thường thôi. Sau đó cô có gặp bạn mà cô không hiểu sao bạn nói chuyện, khi mà cô gặp bạn ở ngoài á, bạn nói chuyện rất là dễ thương, dạ thưa dễ thương, nói chuyện dạ thưa, có đầu có đuôi, but I don't know why he's writing that way. Cũng có thể là bạn bị ảnh hưởng bởi cách viết text của các bạn bây giờ nè, các bạn trẻ bây giờ các bạn viết ngắn nó bị cụt á. Chứ còn khi mà bạn gặp cô ở trên trường, bạn, he's very nice, the way he talked to me is very polite, very calm, he's handsome, nói chung là cao ráo, đẹp trai, nói chuyện ngoan ngoãn, lễ phép. Tất nhiên cái đó là cô cảm nhận for the first time, but I don't know why he's writing so funny. Không có đầu đuôi, không có gì hết trơn. Thì cô nói nếu như cô là doanh nghiệp, cô cũng sẽ không nhận cái CV của bạn, vì bạn viết nó không có đầu có đuôi, câu cú nó không có theo một cái trình tự gì hết. Thì cái chuyện mà người ta đâu có gặp bạn đâu, người ta they haven't got a chance to meet you in person. All they see is your CV, your cover letters. Mà bạn viết thư theo cái kiểu đó rồi làm sao? Thì người ta sẽ có một cái first idea about this. So this is normal that you can't find a job. Còn một trường hợp nữa, it also come to me. Nó rung cái, nó nói cà giật vậy nè. Dạ cô cho con hỏi là bây giờ con không tìm được việc làm. So if they call you for the interview, if you answer them in that way, nào bây giờ các bạn thử đặt các bạn vào trường hợp các bạn là người tuyển dụng, các bạn sẽ tuyển hay không tuyển? Bình thường nó nói chuyện là nó sẽ không bị nha, nó nói chuyện như bạn nó không bị. Chỉ khi nào bắt đầu nó bối rối nè, nó sợ nè, cái nói cà lâm. So when they call you for the interview, when you feel nervous, you speak to them that way. Will they accept it? No, right? So that's why we have to change. So now you are on the second year. No, they are on the third year. Khi mà các bạn đã tìm đến cô là các bạn đã internship, là các bạn đã almost xong năm 3 rồi đó. Thì các bạn chỉ còn có 1 năm để các bạn fix những cái mistake đó thôi. Sẽ có lúc kịp và có lúc không kịp. Nên là các bạn sẽ thấy được á, là sometimes cái theory, cái mà cô dạy cho mấy đứa nó sẽ quá xa vời. Cô đồng ý là vì đúng là có những cái experience thì mình phải chạm rồi thì mình mới nhận ra, chứ còn nghe khơi khơi thì nó cũng giống như là cô đang kể chuyện cổ tích cho mấy đứa nghe thôi, thì cái đó phải chấp nhận, cái đó là I accept it. Và cô cũng có thể là expect được mấy đứa là cô nói 10 chữ ra mấy đứa sẽ hiểu hết 10 chữ. Nếu mà cô nói 10 chữ mấy đứa hiểu hết 10 chữ thì mấy đứa lại bằng tuổi cô, mấy đứa là bạn cô rồi, mấy đứa không còn là học sinh nữa. Nên là I expect that you guys understand 30% of it. You prepare yourself that okay, there will be obstacles, there will be a difficulties that wait ahead for us, for you guys when you start to work. So now I should prepare a little bit. That's it. That's my expectation. Chứ còn cô không thể nào cô expect mấy đứa là ok cô nói 10 chữ, mấy đứa hiểu hết 10 chữ được. Vì là nếu mấy đứa hiểu được thì mấy đứa là 40 tuổi, mấy đứa không còn là 20 tuổi nữa. Nên là có những vấn đề là mình sẽ phải đợi trường đời dạy cho các bạn, thì lúc đó các bạn sẽ dễ dàng các bạn adapt hơn, và lúc đó mình sẽ có những kinh nghiệm xương máu thực tế hơn, thì lúc đó mình sẽ go back to the school theory. Lúc đó mình bắt đầu mình nhớ là ngày xưa cô nói vậy, thầy nói vậy, lúc trước đi học thầy có nói vậy nè. So we will apply. So that's why the employment, why they ask you for experience. Các bạn thấy đó, người ta tuyển dụng, người ta hay đòi hỏi là có kinh nghiệm. For what? For working mindset, là để cho các bạn tỉnh ra. Vì những cái bạn đang đi học là đầu của các bạn còn đang ở trên mây, các bạn chưa có xuống. Thì những cái người mà đi làm, người ta bắt đầu người ta đã vấp phải một số những cái obstacle, những cái difficulties rồi, là người ta start realize okay, working environment is different with what they have experienced from before. Thì lúc đó người ta sẽ đạp cái chân xuống mặt đất, người ta calm, người ta control emotion, người ta know how to control themselves and able how to learn to work. Còn trước đó các bạn ra khỏi trường thì các bạn vẫn còn đang trong tâm thế của là một người học sinh, được người bảo bọc bởi gia đình, bởi thầy cô, thì các bạn sẽ work in different ways. Và các bạn chỉ ôm một mớ theory, một mớ chữ, một mớ management concept in your mindset, mà không có cái gì là thực tế hết. Và that's why they always look for experienced person, because they want you guys to put your feet on the earth to work. Có rất là nhiều bạn vẫn còn để đầu mây bay, thì life will teach you how to put your feet on the earth. Yeah? Okay, any questions? So later, when you become a manager, if you train your staff, if you train any student who become the internship, who take the internship in your companies, please think again your age. Yeah, when you was at her age, at his age, what did you do? What should you expect the other person, so that you will know how to talk to them, how to deliver the message that they can understand the best. Yeah, because otherwise it's quite hard. Because if you put your standard at a high level and their expectation at a different level, and then the message will not match to each other, it's failed. The communication will be failed. Okay, any questions? No questions? Understood everything? Or
nhỏ lại.
Hả?
Cô để xa giọng cô nhỏ lại.
Đâu có, cô same position nãy giờ mà. Any questions? Cô ngồi cùng một vị trí từ nãy đến giờ luôn á. Nhưng mà internet nhà cô mấy bữa nay nó có nó bị trục trặc. Nó cứ on off là I know. Nãy cô chuyển qua 3G đó nhưng mà I không biết lý do tại sao nửa chừng nó vẫn bị rớt.
Do lỗi tìm với cô bên cái của email cũng vừa nãy cũng vào cũng được thì xóa đi lên mặt này.
Okay. Sao các bạn ngồi học ở cái vị trí nào mà cô cảm giác như mấy đứa đang ngồi giữa đường mấy đứa học luôn á? Nó là không được ở cái quán cà phê nữa. Quán cà phê nhiều khi nó cũng đâu có ồn ào dữ người ta. Ok, any question? Các bạn tìm group nha. Các bạn tìm group từ giờ tới cuối tháng là các bạn phải form được cái group cho cô nha. Vì là qua sau midterm là bắt đầu mình sẽ start với lại group á. Nên là các bạn sẽ phải bạn nào chưa có nhóm là lo tìm đi nha. Cô sẽ cho các bạn từ giờ đến cuối tháng. Tại vì học online thì nó cũng hơi khó tìm group hơn là các bạn đi học offline. Nên là cô cho các bạn longer time to form the group. Các bạn học đi từ giờ tới cái tuần cuối của tháng 3 là cô sẽ kêu các bạn inform group member cho cô á. Okay, any questions? So if not, we can finish the class for today. Các bạn FO cẩn thận. Các bạn nào có lên trường học offline cũng cẩn thận luôn. Mặc dù là các bạn đã bị rồi, vì các bạn vẫn có thể bị lại. Và khi mình bị lại thì mình cũng khá là mệt ha. Vì cái tác hại của cái bệnh này về lâu dài thì mình cũng chưa biết nó như thế nào, nên là cứ cẩn thận là the best. Okay, see you guys next week.